Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watch One. Thanks for logging on. Today we're looking at the Panerai Luminor Marina 1950 3 days automatic PAM 392. You can see this 42mm 1950 cased stainless steel Panerai Luminor Marina on our website watchyouwant.com. Purchase it there, and if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel Watch You Want Inc. Now you can see on my wrist 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference. The combination of the beautifully contoured 1950 case with 42mm dimensions makes this an ideal choice for those who may have smaller wrists or who like the Panerai concept but haven't warmed up to the idea of 44 to 47mm cases. The 42 strikes a perfect balance. In combination with the sensuous lines of the 1950 case, it even pulls off a measure of elegance that's completely absent in the traditional so-called tuna can or Betterini case Panerai watches. Now the watch is very compact. 42mm is across the round of the case, but this case really is more of a cushion, approximately as tall as it is wide. The key measurements, aside from 42mm, are 16mm in thickness, and from a lug-to-lug perspective, 51.5mm lug-to-lug. Now it's important to mention that 16mm thickness actually plays remarkably thin, because it does have a bit of a bowl-shaped caseback. When you basically strap it down, it nestles into the skin and sits a millimeter or two lower. It also features a nicely contoured case flank with a conical bezel that allows most sleeves to ride up and over. So while the tightest of dress cuffs might get hung up, any kind of sport jacket, blazer, or casual long sleeve is likely to slide right up and over the flank of this PAM 392. Now, it wears easy on the wrist. It does have substantial heft, because we are talking about a large amount of metal in this sports watch, but it's not overbearing. And if your wrist is as small as perhaps 13.5 centimeters in circumference, you're going to be able to wear this one easily, because the lugs, in the tradition of most modern Panerai watches, are quite short and sharply downturned, and there's absolutely no inhibition on the ability of the strap to simply pull straight down at right angles to the case and move around the smaller contour of a more compact wrist like my own. So if your wrist is smaller, this could be the Panerai Luminor for you. Now it's also a little bit of an upscale take on the Luminor, because it features the rare use of alligator leather as opposed to the more common Panerai calfskin. Generally on Panerai watches you're going to see calfskin for historical reasons, or you're going to see rubber for utilitarian reasons for those who like to go in the pool. The use of rectangular scale alligator, minimally bolstered with a contrasting white stitch, gives this watch a distinctly upscale personality, and it's matched by a pin buckle that's a little bit more discreet than the oversized, historically inspired trapezoid generally seen on Panerai models. It's pared down, it's lower in profile, and it features a nice brushed finish, so this doesn't become a piece of wrist jewelry. Rather, it's a purely functional, easily adjustable accessory to the strap itself. Of course, on the back of the strap is a very supple calfskin for easy wear against the skin. Now, the watch itself features the classical image of the modern Panerai Luminor Marina, albeit elaborated somewhat with a date. Now, it is a sandwich dial, so it has the stencil of the Arabic numerals as well as the indices placed over a fully loomed disc beneath it, and that creates a classic three-dimensional nighttime imagery that Panerai enthusiasts simply love. And if you've never experienced one of these watches in low or no light, you really have to check out watchyouwant.com and take a look at some of our loom shots of this watch in a static environment. It's very striking. Now, there's a surprising amount of complexity hidden within. Thanks to the automatic winding 3-day power reserve caliber 9000, Panerai packs in a tremendous amount of functionality. First and foremost, I unlock the device protecting the crown, and this is the upgraded version. Since 2007, we've seen the rollout of a piece called the Runner, which is essentially a roller bearing that's in the cam lobe of the lever, so that as it rolls across the crown, it's smooth. It has more of a fluid, luxurious feel to it. And when you do pull the crown of that iconic crown guard, you have instant access to winding, as well as the ability to pull the crown and manipulate the watch. Now, the watch features one important feature that will be most endearing to travelers, and that is the travel time function. You can actually adjust the hour hand forward and backward, including driving the date forward and backward with no hazard to the movement, and you can do all of this without actually stopping the balance. Now you can see to good effect that the balance is still oscillating, even though I have the travel time function engaged. So it's a world wanderer's watch as well as an adventurer's watch. And yes, it does retain 100 meter or approximately 330 foot water resistance. Now on the case back, you have a full open view of that Caliber 9000. The Caliber 9000 is one of Panerai's in-house movements. It features twin mainspring barrels. It features hacking seconds, so when you pull the crown, you stop the seconds, you can precisely synchronize it to a reference time. It does feature a modern 4 Hz beat rate, so that 72-hour power reserve with a modern high beat rate is quite impressive. It does feature bidirectional winding for smooth winding action on the wrist and unlubricated ceramic rotor bearings, sealed for life. They're very high efficiency. They also reduce the long-term maintenance costs. And the watch is complemented not just by one of Panerai's latest in-house movements, but by Panerai's most modern strap swapping system. Now, strap swapping is a Paneristi pastime, and you can see that the push-button system introduced in the late 2000s is employed on this 1950 case. You simply depress the button on each lug and push the retaining bar through. So if you want, you can actually swap out both sides of the strap using nothing but toothpicks in a matter of 20 seconds. And then you have a world of aftermarket and OEM Panerai replacement straps at your disposal. You can see this Panerai Luminor Marina 1950s 3 days automatic in stainless steel on our website, watchyouwant.com.